G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. It's time for Tales of the Jedi. Now this was released yesterday alongside Andor episode 8. I did my Andor review which you can check out on my channel. But now we're going to go through each individual one of these episodes and I'm going to do 6 individual videos so we can just really narrow down on each individual episode. Now I do say episode, they are just little shorts. I think the longest one is 19 minutes and that is the first one that we're going to be watching, of course, in this video. Now, I know that this has been a re-adaptation or not really an adaptation, like they've just used the name, The Tales of the Jedi. This was a comic book series that, of course, came out in the EU back when George Lucas was in charge of Star Wars, and they've just reused the name for this series that they've come out with. We pretty much know from the trailers that this is just a story about Ahsoka and Count Dooku and probably a little bit of Qui-Gon Jinn in there as well. And we're going to see plenty of the other main characters like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, as you saw from the trailer. So let's get into this first episode, 19 minutes long. If you're new here, I usually go through, you'll get to see some of my reactions as I'm watching it. And then of course, at the end, you'll get my review and breakdown of each individual episode. So let's get into this episode 1 right now. Well, the birth of Ahsoka. I think we knew we were going to see this again from the trailer. Hey, at least we get some droids in this series. Straight off the bat. I've seen 2 droids already. Again, I've already seen more droids in this than we've seen in Andor. Come on, it would have been nicer to have better subtitles than that. Like, what's she actually saying? To me, not having the subtitles is a little lazy, to be honest.
Wait.
The Force is a superpower.
Rakshir. Duemai.
Lazy with the subtitles. Okay, I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very like cute and all of that sort of thing. Okay, let's just get past that for a second. She's 1 year old and she's able to essentially manipulate a creature of that magnitude, the saber-toothed tiger sort of thing. Now, if you go back and you think back to Attack of the Clones when Anakin was, when they're in the arena and Anakin tries to settle the Reek down, it takes him a lot of effort and a lot of concentration and that sort of thing. Now, I'm not saying that it can't be where it can be just this thing where she's a bit like how Anakin with his pod racing, right? It's just something that with his reflexes that can just sort of happen. But at 1 year old, to be able to actually do that, again, this is why I said while I was watching it, you know, the Force is now a superpower. It doesn't feel right to me that she is able to do this at 1 year old. She might be powerful enough in the Force and all of that sort of thing, but to actually be able to manipulate and control a beast like that would take a lot more effort than what I think a 1 year old with no training or anything really, no life experience obviously, would be able to do. As I was saying throughout, as they're talking, I feel like the no subtitles really does a disservice to this episode. I really do. There's plenty of times where they're speaking in basic or English, depending on how you want to refer to it. Obviously in Star Wars, it's referred to as basic. But the subtitles for these moments where, you know, when she's talking to the beast, when she hears the first gunshot and does like a little prayer thing, even when they originally go out and she puts the blue stuff on their heads, to me, it's just lazy. It's like, okay, what are they actually saying? Like, is that just, they could have even just put in good luck, you know, and putting the thing on their head. I mean, obviously it's a made up language, but you've got to bring some context to that. And they had the same problem with Andor in those earlier episodes of Andor when we were getting the flashbacks of Andor as a kid with no subtitles. It's actually really annoying because it would have been good to have a little bit more substance in there from what they're actually saying in their native language. Obviously, the episode isn't offensive in any way, shape, or form. It's just trying to tell Ahsoka's story. I do think the most offensive thing is the fact that they have made the Force just like a superpower. So anyone that's got the Force can do anything that we know that can be done with the Force. Now, if you look back and you think about even in their own canon, I think it was Master and Apprentice, that series, there's a moment where Obi-Wan is, a bit annoyed at the fact that he's learning just one form with the lightsaber and he's constantly just in the library reading, and that's what his master gives him to do, as opposed to all these other Jedi Padawan that are off doing what's unique to their abilities. And I really feel like they've really changed that message in regards to it. Ahsoka, obviously, from the age of 1, can manipulate a beast like a saber-toothed tiger and stop it from eating her, basically, and then somehow get onto its back without being able to walk and come back to the village. It's the most offensive thing in the episode. I know that there's going to be a lot of people that love this because there's a lot of people out there that love Ahsoka. Now, look, in regards to the Clone Wars, I was one of those people that actually liked the Clone Wars. Liked being the operative word. The thing is that throughout my time, and I liked the character of Ahsoka, and again, liked, because they've made her so very important to every element of Star Wars that we've ever had. And every era of Star Wars since she's been alive, she is the most important person. And I don't think that is really relevant, necessary, or good for that matter. I mean, I think personally that she should have died either at the end of Order 66 or in the Rebels series when obviously she has the fight with Vader. But that's just my thoughts on it. Again, it was fine. I like the animation style because I do like that Clone Wars animation, but it has its downfalls. It has its downfalls with not actually putting in context to the native speak with any subtitles. And like I said, it feels like they've made the Force just this superpower that anyone that's a Force user can just do whatever they need to do whenever they need to do it. And at least with Grogu, you could say that there is some sort of justification for that, although I think that he is completely OP in actually using the Force throughout The Mandalorian, even though he was trained in the temple for a short while, and it is a 50-year-old being. And it really feels like they're trying to make Ahsoka that kind of person from the age of 1 as well. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of episode 1 in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one for episode 2. Later, guys.